Làm đi. Bỏ cái này xuống này. Làm đi.
Climate change is no longer a distant threat. Its effects are already being felt globally. While the primary solution remains a significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, a growing number of scientists and policymakers are now considering a controversial Plan B, geo-engineering. This tempered refused to refers to the large-scale, deliberate manipulation of the Earth's climate system to correct the effects of global warming. The concept is not new, but as the traditional mitigation efforts lack the debate over its feasibility and ethical implications has emphasis. Geo-engineering strategies can also be broadly dive into main categories: carbon dioxide removal, solar radiation management, CDR techniques focus on removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. These include information and reforestation, which involve planting new forests to act as natural carbon sinks. More technology ambitious methods include direct air capture, which uses in large machines to suck CO2 directly out of the air levels. While the methods address the root cause the problem by reducing the atmospheric CO2 levels, they're expensive and would be need to deploy on an enormous scale to have a meaningful impact. Solar radiation magnet techniques, on the other hand, aim to cool by the Earth and reflecting a small percentage of sunlight back into air. Unlike carbon dioxide removal, and solar, unlike carbon dioxide removal and solar radiation mitigate does not have removed greenhouse gases but simply mask their warming effect. A prominent example is the stratospheric aerosol injection, which involves spraying solid aerosols around the stratosphere to mimic the cooling effect of large volcanic eruptions. Another proposed method is marine cloud breathing, where the sea salts spray into clouds and make them more reactive. Proponents of SRM argued that these methods could provide a rapid, temporary reduction in global temperatures, buying valuable time for the world to transition to slower carbon economy. The promise of geo-engineering is accompanied by a host of risks and contingencies. One of the biggest concerns with SRM is the potential for the unexpected and uneven regional effects. A change in global weather patterns could, for example, lead to the surf droughts in some areas, while causing increased rainfalls in others. Technology could also be weaponized, leading to a technology could also be weaponized, leading to an international conflict over who controls the global climate. Furthermore, there is a risk of termination shock if SRMs or suddenly stop for any reason. The planet will be experiences a rapid and catastrophic temperature increase as an accumulated warming effect of greenhouse gases take hold. From an ethical governance perspective, geo-engineering is fraught with challenges. Who gets to decide if, when, and how to deploy these technologies? The potential tool for unilateral action by single nation or even a corruption is a frightening prospect. The lack of an international reality framework could lead to a geopolitical free-for-all. Critics also out that focusing on the geo-engineering could distract from the fundamental need to cut emissions, creating a moral hazard where societies feel less urgency to change their polluting behaviors. Despite the significant risk, the conversation around geo-engineering is moving from the fringes to the mainstream. As climate change impacts become more severe, the pressure to explore all the possible options will only grow. While geo-engineering is a magic bullet and should not be seen as a substitute for emission reductions, many scientists believe that responsible research into its potential is a necessity. The goal is not deploy to the technologies immediately, but to understand them better so that if a future climate emergency requires their uses, the international community will be prepared. Protecting wild animals or wild conservation is a crucial global effort that addresses the increasing threats to biodiversity. The primary goal is to prevent the extinction of animal species and preserve their natural habitats. One of the biggest challenges is habitat loss, driven by human activities like deforestation, urbanization, and agricultural expansion. This directly leads to animals losing their home and food sources, forcing them to conflict with humans. In addition, poaching and illegal wildlife trade continue to devastate animal about animal populations, with high sought-after species being hunted to the brink of extinction. To combat these issues, various strategies are being implemented, including the establishment of national parks and national reserves to create safe havens for animals. Furthermore, international laws or conventions like cities have been put in place to regulate the trade of endangered species, raising public awareness and educating communities are also vital, as they encourage people to support the conservation efforts and adopt more sustainable practices. Ultimately, the future the future of our planet's desert wildlife depends on collective commitment to protecting these magnificent creatures and fragile ecosystem they inhabit.